today to have John Breed come here, and I was introduced to him in person when he was at Border Books this fall, introducing his new books, Paper Towns. And Marion works for me in the library, and when she found out that I had a copy of Paper Towns before it was really on the shelves in the bookstores, she was amazed. We got it early. And so she told me that John was coming to Border Books, and I went there, and I was just amazed. I just had such a good time seeing him, and I know that you guys are going to have a wonderful time. And I wanted the girls to introduce John Breed.
All right, so in late 2008, a friend of mine, right there, Amanda, told me to check out this channel called Vlog Brothers on YouTube, and I had no idea what it was about. Don't talk to me. So anyway, 4 months later, I had watched like the over 100 videos that they had posted on that channel, which is a lot of time, but they're hilarious, and you should really check them out. I had also read Looking for Alaska and Catherine's, John's other book, and I was eagerly awaiting the release of Paper Towns. So I was pretty like a nerd fighter, which is what they call their fans from day one. I know probably a lot of you are familiar with John, but if you're not, I can kind of tell you a little bit about him. In 2000, or at least like his, besides the books that he's written.
Please, for the back of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also have this.
Sorry, I'm a little sick. Oh. Okay, is that better?
Turn it on.
You have to talk like right into it and loud.
How's that?
Good.
Okay. Okay, so in 2007, John and Hank decided to only communicate through video blogs on YouTube because just to get to know each other better as adults and to keep in touch. And originally the videos were, just addressed to each other, but they were so, awesome, insightful, and hilarious. And they're kind of, catered to the glorification of nerds that so many people just started watching them. And, I believe John or at least Hank in one video said they're an internet sensation, minus some expletives. So I mean, really what John and Hank have done is amazing. And, their videos range from like eating a ridiculous amount of peeps to raising money to send to Bangladesh to buy, mosquito nets for kids there. And it's just really impressive, and I know John has really inspired me, and his brother Hank as well. And so I'm just so honored to have you here, and thank you for coming.
Hi, my name's Claire, and I am a nerd fighter. And just kind of talking a little about the nerd fighter thing, the DFTBA, that I don't really think you could see, it means don't forget to be awesome. And the thing about nerd fighters is that what they do, or what we do, is we fight world suck, which is pretty much everything that makes the world suck. And which means we pretty much just raise money to maybe build water filters for kids in Bangladesh or build schools. And I first read Looking for Alaska a couple years ago, picked it up at Books A Million, absolutely loved it, lent it to my friend Alyssa here, we loved it, and started watching the Vlog Brothers videos, actually like not too long ago, which I'm kind of sad to say because I'm pathetic. And I know we're kind of talking about the whole Nerdfighter YouTube thing, but today I guess we're going to talk about the writing process and how John does it. So, do you want to take it away?
Thanks, guys. I'm not going to use this unless I have to, so tell me if you can't hear me in the back. Just raise your hand or say something. And thank you for the lovely introduction, Marion and Claire. Marion's actually been featured in a Vlog Brothers video.
Okay, I hope you were not going to bring that up.
So I had to I went to Half Price Books. Sometimes I like go to bookstores, and if they have copies of my books, I just like sign them real fast and then like put them back on the shelf and try not to get caught. Because if you do get caught, I don't know, it's happened before and it's weird. Because I'll say like I'm the author, and I'll say like look at my picture, and they'll say, well then why didn't you tell us that you were signing it? And I'll just say, well, I was embarrassed. So I went to Half Price Books at 86th and Ditch to sign one of my books, and I was going to videotape it, but they didn't have any of my books. So I signed a book by my friend Maureen Johnson, which Marion then went to, and she was the person who like got there first, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. So you're awesome, and so are you, Claire. There are other nerd fighters here? Could you just raise your hand if you watch the videos or you would identify yourself as a nerd fighter?
Yeah.
I mostly had you raise your hands because that means that you get first dibs at the cupcakes. So thanks for being awesome, and don't now belatedly raise your hand and decide that you are a nerd fighter since there are cupcakes. I just wanted to explain this. Someone brought me this. It's a fail boat. The fail boat is the boat that comes and gets you when you are experiencing fail. So that was very sweet. Thank you for the fail boat, which has little now and later fail boats inside of it. I guess life rafts, you would say. I'm going to talk for like 30 seconds about my videos, and then I'm going to talk for the rest of the time about books, because I have this, can you hear me in the back? Okay, let's stick with this thing where you're going to tell me though if you don't. I have like 40 minutes to convince you of things that I think are like extremely important, and that you will believe one day, but the fact that you will believe them one day is totally useless because I need you to believe them now quick while you still have some formal education ahead of you. So I don't have a long time to do that, and also I want to take your many fascinating questions. So I'm not going to talk too long about my videos, but what Marion and Claire said summed it up very nicely. Hank and I, my brother and I my brother runs an environmental technology website called EcoGeek, and I write books, and we live on opposite sides of the country. He lives in Missoula, Montana, and we thought that it'd be cool if we used the internet to keep in touch and to get to know each other as adults, which we never really did because I went to boarding school when I was 15, and I never really went home again. So we started making videos back and forth. We made videos every day for every weekday of 2007, and then people started watching them, which is a big surprise. But it was mostly Hank is the reason they started watching them. Hank writes really funny songs, and really, like he writes a lot of songs about books. He writes some songs about my books, but he also writes songs about Harry Potter. The day before Deathly Hallows came out, he wrote kind of a hit song called Accio Deathly Hallows, or Osseo Deathly Hallows, or however you pronounce the spell. It's a little nerdy, but you know, we are nerdy, and the reason that we sort of the foundation of our community, of the nerd fighter community, is this belief that like intellectualism is better than vapidity, like that it is better to be interested in questions of the intellect, to be engaged intellectually with the world, than it is to while away your days worrying about the love life of Lindsay Lohan. Like we really, and not that there's anything wrong with doing that here and there in the way that you do things that are sinful and wrong, but really, yeah, but you know, like we believe in living thoughtful and engaged lives, and I have to say that like when I wrote my first book, Looking for Alaska, I started it when I was 22, and it came out when I was 27. And by the time I was 27, I really did not believe that teenagers were smart. Like I'd gotten older, you know, and I thought that my 27-year-old self was so pleased with the intellectual capabilities of my 27-year-old self that I thought that, you know, anyone younger than me couldn't possibly have anything interesting to say about the world. The great thing about these videos is that now that they've been watched 30 million times and we have 80,000 people watching us every day, like now that those things are happening, I see not like 1 or 5 or 10 teenagers who are as smart as I am, but tens of thousands. So I was wrong to doubt you. And you're wrong to doubt yourself if you don't think that that you can be an intellectually engaged citizen. So, does anyone have a copy of my book, by the way? I inconveniently forgot it. Thank you. Library copy.